in the 0-1, Tyler Trott in the 11, Nicole Chambrello in the 16, and Dan Dembeck in the 93.
There's no question about it. Doug Phelps brings his family every Friday night, and they are jumping up and down in their seats because Doug Phelps is about to lead lap number 1. If he can just hold on for one more turn, he comes down to the stripe, and Doug Phelps will lead the first lap in the Dare Stocks tonight.
Then the Coelho family is surrounding him. Allison in the 53, the 35 for Gus. Trace Beyer is right there in the 29. And now we have a bid for the lead as here comes Allison Coelho in car number 53. It looks like she has some firepower as she swarms over the 21 of Doug Phelps.
Doug Phelps tries to guard the inside lane. They come off the turn, and Coelho is right there to the outside, side by side, fender to fender. They rumble to the bottom of turn number 2. It is still Phelps by inches as he holds off Coelho on the outside. Meanwhile, it is still car 29 moving to the front. That's Trace Beyer, but the Coelhos are showing that they have what it takes to get the job done on the outside lane.
Boy, I think Gus set those two cars to run well on the outside. Allison takes the lead from Doug Phelps, and in her apron strings is the 35 of Gus Coelho. So holding on for dear life is Doug Phelps. He's going to lose another position because he is double-teamed by the combination of Trace Beyer and Frank Latois.
Down the back straightaway, Billy McNeil literally got hooked onto another race car and went around and tagged the wall underneath the Coors Light Klondike bar sign about halfway down the back straightaway. Fern was involved in that mix-up as well, and that'll bring out a caution 3 laps in for our Dare Stock feature event tonight.
Boy, a pretty vicious hit for Bill McNeil as you see the front end of that car lobotomized as a very painful experience for Bill McNeil.
No question about it. In our Dare Stock division, our contingency partners include the following: New England Racing Fuels, supplier of Sunoco, the official fuel of the Stafford Motor Speedway, and Rad Auto Machine. We salute them for providing us with contingency support.
And if you're wondering what a contingency sponsor is, they provide extra money to our competitors. So very good supporters of Stafford Motor Speedway, and especially to our competitors, because a lot of them, they depend on that contingency money that they get every week.
They certainly do. We want to remind you that the next 3 Friday night events here at the Stafford Motor Speedway are 3 of the very best of 2014. That's right. It all begins with the stars and cars of the Valente Modified Race Series, the series that you voted as the most popular open-wheel modified division in the Northeast region of the country. The largest field of 2014 is anticipated, and it happens next Friday night for the Lincoln Tech 80. Joining them, the Whelen All-American Series divisions like the SKs, the late models, the limited, and of course your favorite in the Dare Stocks as well. That's happening next Friday evening for the Lincoln Tech 80. Then the following Friday, July 25th, the biggest payday in the history of the SK Modifieds. That'll be on July 25th, 2 weeks from tonight. First time ever, $27,000 plus up on the line for the Napa Auto Parts $5,000 to win SK race of 2014. All the big guns come out. All the top drivers competing in SK Modified Racing want this, the biggest payday. They're looking forward to it. Mother Nature zapped us a week ago. Be here for history in the making, July 25th for the SK Modified 5K event, happening again the week after next on July 25th. And on August 1st, late model Extra Mart Extra D 60-lap event for the late model division here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, brought to you by your friends at Extra Mart Convenience Stores. Matt?
So we are still cleaning up, and it looks like that chore is over, and we double up the field with Allison Coelho looking for her first ever victory in a Dare Stock in the lead. And Doug Phelps, there's a reason why he has a pretty loud fan section. He has 6 kids. They come every Friday night, and they are big Doug Phelps fans. He has a nice family, and there is another guy who always seems to be in a good mood when he's at the racetrack. Doug Phelps, kind of one of those tough, hard-nosed competitors, maybe not the fanciest driver with the fanciest equipment, but he has a big heart, And right now he's looking to have a big right foot. He's going to need it against Allison Coelho.
Well, he did real well in the first two circuits. Let's see if he can continue to get the job done. Whelen Engineering lights are off, the sponsor of the Whelen All-American Series and the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. They rumble back to the line. Green is out from Cam on the starter stand. And again, Doug Phelps gets a little bit of extra giddy up and sets the lead, but all of a sudden he goes around.
And Latois just able to escape harm. As you talk about a squeeze play, that was Frank Latois, and he was able to find enough air between the wall and Doug Phelps to make it through.
It appears that Phelps is not going to be able to get it fired back up. He is trying, but it just doesn't work, and the caution flag comes out. The reflex shot afterwards is where you see the dust in turn number 2 next to the Napa Auto Care Center sign was the second in a ripple effect that we saw there, Matt, that took place.
And quite appropriately now, girls' night, well, we will wait until the numbers get put on the board, but we could have a very interesting restart here. One thing we do know that Allison Coelho is our leader in car number 53, and then it will be Gus Coelho in the 35 who will be next. So that is the way that we'll restart with Trace Spire in the number 3 position. I thought for a moment that Alexandra Fern would go up to the front row, and that would be a little historical.
Certainly would.
Girls' night, having an all-female front row, but Alexandra will be 4th. But she has plenty of time to get to the front. Remember, 17 laps tonight. So the drivers have a couple of extra laps to work their magic.
They certainly do. 3 laps are up on the board in the 17-lap feature event. If you've just joined us, we salute the firefighters with Firefighters Appreciation Night here at the Stafford Motor Speedway and Ladies Night Out, a part of a Mobile One program presented by Napa Auto Parts. We salute all of those great individuals and salute you, the race fans. Remember, our program concludes with fireworks in the air, and fireworks, you've already witnessed some of that, and you'll witness more on the racetrack itself. Remember, the gate on the back stretch will not be open to the conclusion and after the fireworks have been completed. Back to Green Flag Racing.
Well, getting a good jump is Allison, but here comes Dad to the outside, breathing fire. And he is able to butane his way into the lead. Trace Spire ganging up on Allison Coelho. Alexandra Fern to the outside of her. She's all over her like a little bit siding on a house. But it is Gus Coelho looking for his first ever Stafford win, has the lead on lap number 4.
Frank Latoile is the man that's moving forward in the outside lane. Latoile started in the mid-pack of cars. In the 8th starting spot, he's up to the 3rd position. Latoile is all over Alexandra Fern, looking to go to the outside. Marquise is trying to make his presence known. Then it's Johnny Walker also coming to the front of the field. But Marcel Latoile's grandson, Frank Latoile, is the guy to watch in the 3rd spot.
2 guys who usually come on strongly at the end of races. Frank Latoile in car number 33, Johnny Walker in car number 01. And here comes Johnny trying to barnstorm his way underneath Allison Coelho. That is a fight for 5th and 6th. And Allison had something for him in turn number 3. Johnny was not able to get underneath. What a battle here for the lead between Gus Coelho and Alexandra Fern.
Alexandra Fern tucked out of line, and all of a sudden we've got the 2 of Jeff Jolly. He continues to have bad luck as he is involved in a skirmish. We're still under green. A lead change about to take place. Off turn number 4, Alexandra Fern going, gone, as now Jolly has come to a screeching halt to the bottom of turn number 1. Jeff Jolly has had no luck at all this season. The car has run well, but he seems to be one of those drivers in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, feast or famine. He's had 2 wins, but on those nights that he doesn't win, he's been involved in all kinds of altercations. So you might say, well, he's got 2 wins, but if on those nights where he doesn't hit the winner's circle, he gets all kinds of headaches. And this tonight is a perfect example of what's been happening all season to Jeff Jolly.
No question. He has come to a little bit of a halt down the back straightaway. The 3 car of Fern isn't going to play with him whatsoever. As Fern goes up the hills and Jolly tries to chase him down. So Tom Fox at Race Central, he's keeping his eye on this situation. And now the Jeff Jolly number 2 car heads down on pit road. Nope. He's headed back behind the wall. So Jolly's race car showing the worst of the wear. A tough night for him. No question about it. You can understand his frustration in all of that as well. So 6 laps are up on the board. Cam Robinson on the starter's stand with Tim Bennett.
And it's Gus Coelho in the lead, and Alexandra Fern, who got the lead on the last lap, but it was not completed, so she has to settle for second for the time being. But Alexandra Fern has a very fast car. You remember a couple of weeks ago, she came in second, so there is a driver very hungry for her first win.
Car number 3, we believe, has just received a consultation flag from the starter stand from Tim Bennett. They're calling that car in on pit road. So we'll watch and see if it was the 3 car. We believe that they were pointing directly at the 3, which is driven by Ryan Fern.
Well, we are going to turn the ignition key here on lap number 6 for a double file restart. Very critical one for Alexandra Fern, and she looks like a clown popping out of the Jack in the Box, getting the lead away from Gus Coelho.
No question, she is the shining star after the restart. Alexandra Fern out in front and starting to pull away. Here comes another guy that's been the hard luck story this year. Andrew Marquise started 7th, and Marquise is already into the runner-up spot as car number 53 goes around, and that is Allison Coelho off turn number 4. No harm, no foul there. Marquise is up to second. Latuelle is in the 3rd spot. Here comes Johnny Walker up to 4, while the leader still remains Alexandra Fern, halfway and counting down.
Now both Alexandra Fern and Andy Marquise in second. They have done well early in races and have kind of faltered at the end. So we'll see if that holds true tonight. Right now, Alexandra Fern looks like she has the strongest car on the track. Battle for 4th and 5th. And winning that battle is Johnny Walker, as he is able to bullet his way into the top 4.
Walker is one of those cautious drivers that patiently comes to the front of the field and usually comes on very strong in the final 5 laps of the event. That's possibly what we're seeing him set up for now as we speak. Frank Latuelle motors to the inside of Marquise. Down the back straightaway, who's the tail that wags the dog? It's going to be Johnny Walker. Car number 01 looking to move on to the podium. Side-by-side racing in a bid for 3rd.
Well, Johnny Walker saw his opening, and he was able to stormtrooper his way into 3rd. The shock and awe at the front of the field being demonstrated by Alexandra Fern, looking for her first ever Stafford win, and what a night to do it on Girls' Night Out. But there is still a long way to go. 6 more laps when she hits to the line. The question mark is surrounding second place, where Frank Latuelle is trying to get the best of Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker runs right in his tire tracks. They run pretty much nose to tail, but Walker isn't about to give up yet. 11 laps up on the board. 17 laps the overall distance. Walker has skillfully came into contention among the top 3 cars. Marquise sets back in the 5th spot. Gus Coelho is in position number 5. Alexandra Fern still the leader, 12 and counting.
And a good battle between Brendan Michael and David Como deeper in the field. Como trying to cyclone his way underneath Michael, but it's not happening, and Michael protects his spot, and Como slows down. There is no word slow down in the vocabulary of Alexandra Fern as she shuffles across the line, and her lead is starting to widen against Frank Latuelle.
13 laps are now complete. Leader of the pack is car number 12, Alexandra Fern from East Longmeadow, Massachusetts, started 5th on the grid, the 3rd different leader of the event, and is still the dominant car at the point. Frank Latuelle still consistently finishing this season on the podium. Same could be said about Walker, but there is still enough time to be able to challenge our leader.
Well, one thing Alexandra knows in front, there are 2 closers behind her. Frank Latois, Johnny Walker, they both have been known to come on strongly over the final few laps. Andy Marquise in fourth. We are down to the final two. Alexandra Fern leading. The script has been set. Fern will try to hold off two of the best in the division, Frank Latois and Johnny Walker.
They work their way to turn number 2, down the back straightaway, heading down into turn number 3. Walker glued to the back bumper of Latois. That's the battle for second. Walker gives him a little smooch. No love affair there. They come off turn number 4. To the stripe they come, this time by. White flag is out. 1 lap to go.
The most important lap in the racing career of Alexandra Fern. Beats everybody into the second corner. Good battle for second between Latois and Walker. But can they get to our leader? Here is Alexandra Fern in turn number 3.
They work their way to the bottom of turn 3. Alexandra Fern comes up on lap traffic. Ladies and gentlemen, on Ladies' Night, Girls' Night Out, Alexandra Fern, the first winner of the feature event for the Dare Stock division on Ladies' Night Out, and finishing in the runner-up spot. Frank Latois with car number 33, and then it'll be Johnny Walker in car number 01 for the 3rd position. And then it'll be Marquise to finish in the 4th spot and Coelho to round out the top 5.
Well, Alexandra Fern was our guest, the June edition of Stories from Victory Lane, and she said how badly she wanted to get the win. She got it tonight. Her dad, very instrumental, Stu Fern, in putting her behind the wheel. And there was something wrong with that car. They weren't able to find it, but they found it a couple of weeks ago, what was wrong with it. The gremlins are out, and the checkered flag is in. Alexandra Fern, a night she will never forget. And on Ladies' Night, could you write a better script than that?
There's no question. It is a textbook situation. Ladies in pink, you should be proud of your driver tonight. Let's go down to our Napa Victory Lane with our Flamingo Motorsports trackside reporters, Tony Sutton and Connor Sullivan.
What a night here in the Dare Stocks on Ladies' Night as well. One of the newest leading ladies at Stafford Motor Speedway in the Dare Stocks. Alexandra Fern taking a big sip of water after a hard-fought race out there, but she definitely was able to pull away from the entire field. Taking all the belts off, trying to get the helmet. Trying to get some of the photographers in as well. All right, here she comes, clambering out a car number 12. The newest winner here in the Dare Stocks at Stafford. Alex, what does it mean to you?
Hang on.
Gotta have the hat up,
right? Well, this is really awesome, and once it was lap 15, I was like, oh, if this was a regular distance race, I would have won by now. But then I kept going, and I was like, I got this, and I got really excited. I can't thank my parents enough. Dad really helps out. My car owner, awesome, Amadeo. My favorite uncle, Scott Fern. Everyone who helps me out. My best friend, Caitlin, Tess, my boyfriend, Nick, and my sponsors, Safeco Foam, Independent Racing Wheel, Napa Auto Parts, A-Crane Construction, and of course, Stafford Motor Speedway. This is really awesome. I never thought that this day would come. I've really struggled a lot with my car, but we got the bumps out, and here I am. Yeah.
All right. Going to be a big celebration for the Fern family tonight. Alexandra Fern taking home her first career win in the Dare Stocks.
Triple D Racing brings us car number 04 for Brandon Dion.
A rookie in the NJK Automotive and David Smith Racing car, Steve Kopchik.
And then it's the 98 of Nick Salva, Rob Charlan in the number 1 car, Dylan Mendito, the 29, Jay Goff, Jeremy Sorrell. We're green and racing to the bottom of turn number 1.
And trying to move out into the early advantage is the Hammer. Rich Heyman, he is able to be successful, starting in 8th and already moving into the lead. That is the 31, or that's Podium Paul French in car number 76, as he is trying to take the lead away from Rich Heyman.
Glenn Griswold set out one of the practice sessions to set in the grandstand to study his competition. Griswold is up to the top 4. Meanwhile, down the back straightaway, Beaujolais will challenge for the 5th spot. Out in front, car number 28 from Tolland, Connecticut, Rich Hammond drifts up the racetrack, almost gives Paul French the opportunity to move on by. The mover and the shaker is Tyler Hines with car number 25.
Tyler Hines, a winner on Sizzler Weekend, running a sturdy 3rd. 1 notch behind him is Griswold. Best battle, Steve Kopchik on the inside, and he is being challenged by Todd Doulard in car number 16. Todd Doulard celebrated a birthday last Friday night.
3 wide action. Joey Farino, bottom of the top 10. He is on the bottom. Charlan was stuck in the outside lane. Sorrell was the meat in the sandwich in that one. Then they're 3 wide behind that, Matt, as we continue to challenge there.
Dick Salva made a move, but somebody is stopped. Wesley Prucker, car number 22 in turn 2. So turn 2, that is a sign of our SOS.
That's right. Wesley Prucker stops just to the right of the Napa Auto Parts billboard. Want to remind you, ladies, for that special photo op for Ladies Night Out, the conclusion of this SK Light feature event at the Cancer Breast Awareness fire truck behind the 4th turn small grandstand area. We will be taking those photos following the conclusion of the SK Light Modifieds that are on the racetrack right now. We salute our Napa Auto Parts stores from Canton, the Napa Auto Parts store on Albany Turnpike, from New Haven, Connecticut, the store on State Street, from Windsor Locks, the Napa Auto Parts store on Spring Street, and from Feeding Hills on Springfield Street. We salute those, and of course their operators, including from Canton, Gary Barnes, William Russo from the New Haven store, Donnie Wright from the Windsor Locks, and Brandon Johnson from the Feeding Hills Agawam store. Thank you for being so supportive of NASCAR auto racing here at Stafford. Matt?
Now, some of the drivers we didn't get to in our starting lineup. Ben mentioned Jeremy Sorrell, our point leader in car number 77, starts tonight with a 14-point edge over Nick Salva. Also competing, Joey Farino in the 87, Jody Johnson in the 53, Pete LaPooch in the 71, David Burnham in car number 54, Wesley Prucker in car number 22, Christopher Gabos, a rookie driver in car number 21, and making his Stafford debut in car number 69, a former dirt track competitor, Carlos Gray.
So there you have it, the remainder of our starting field assembled there.
Jeremy Sorrell coming off his first win in his career 2 weeks ago. Who would ever thought that a rookie would be our point leader, but that is the case for Jeremy Sorrell in car number 77. In North Carolina, he competed in the late models, but he said he finally figured out how to go fast here. Give the car what it wants. And I guess if your car is happy, you're going to be happy.
Yes, and we should also mention that David Burnham picked up a brand new sponsor tonight. Randy's Trucking is the sponsor of the number 54 car on the back of his race car as well. So hats off to those good folks. 3 laps are up on the board in this 22-lap event. These are the junior stars of NASCAR, the SK Light Modifieds. The contingency partners include New England Racing Fuels and Spafco, the official parts supplier in the paddock area here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. Whelen Engineering, of course, the first name in light sirens and safety services used throughout the world. Sponsors of the NASCAR Whelen All-American Series and the Whelen Modified Tour. American made and proud of it, with plants in Connecticut and New Hampshire. About ready to go back to green. Remember, ladies, your photo op comes up at the conclusion of this event in 19 laps. Green flag is out, and Rich Hammond puts a little giddy up in his step. Further back, they are 3 wide, and Tim Bennett and Tommy Fox did not like the way that situation looked as they call back the start and double him up. Tom Fox, a former frontrunner and championship driver, is the man known as the race director from Race Central, who tries to keep the playing field fair, with communication coming in from the starter stand and several other locations, sharing input and information there. And car number 25, Tyler Hines, was a contender among the top 3. That car pulls down on pit road. You'll note that these competitors do not have the luxury of having crew members or being able to come in, make adjustments, or fix problems on the racetrack. Tony Sutton, the voice of Flamingo Motorsports Pit Road, is there. Tony, what have you got?
Well, Tyler's in. What happened, Tyler?
I'm not too sure what happened on the restart there. I got a bump and the car just popped out of gear and won't go back in.
Transmission issues for Tyler Hines. Back upstairs.
Transmission, the story there, but there is a different type of transition going on up front, and Hammond leads the charge. Glenn Griswold moved to the inside of Paul French. Then there's 3 wide action, the 31 of Stephen Kopsick. Now moves into the top 4. Here comes Glenn Griswold, the old warhorse, into second. Sorrell is coming to the front. Joey Farino is looking racy again tonight as they come back to the line. 15 cars like a swarm of bees about to be shaken in the nest.
And hanging tough, one of his best runs of the season, Steve Kopsick, but he surrenders the number 4 spot briefly to Beaujolais, then he tries to get it back. So that is a good tug of war between Steve Kopsick and Jeff Beaujolais for 4th and 5th.
Beaujolais now has been getting stronger each and every time out. Tries to do the crossover on Paul French. Down the back straightaway. Beaujolais to the inside. Can't do it. Meanwhile, look at Joey Farino. He's now into the top 5. And Sorrell is right there with him, along with Menditto, who's also a feature event winner this season, Matt.
And Menditto, now there is trouble for Beaujolais. He goes off the pace, and Farino, he just thunders by him on the inside. And trouble definitely for the 3-car of Beaujolais. Everybody making their move by him.
Menditto, along with Nick Salva, is coming to the front of the field. Caution flag is out. We've got a spin. It is car number 69 for Carlos Gray out of Manchester, Connecticut, in his first outing ever in 2014 in the SK Light Modifieds. So there are 8 of 22 laps up on the board. Rich Hammond has been the shining star so far. But who is the fastest car in the racetrack? Joey Farino, car number 87, 20.269. So Joey Farino is definitely a factor. Let's go quickly down to Jim Wayne.
Yes, thank you very much, Ben. We're looking for the ladies to come down here at this time to start assembling in front of this pink fire truck here, the Newington Volunteer Fire Truck. Pam, Carol, Rosemary in the gold chair section, come on down here. The time is now to come. Debbie over here in turn 4, the J Goff fan, you, come on down here. It's time to get your picture taken. All the ladies in front of this fire truck. Let's go to Tony Sutton.
Well, a young man named Chip just finished up his ride. What's your perspective from inside the car now that you've got a chance to ride in one?
It's completely different, and he makes it look very easy, and there's nothing easy about it.
Well, obviously, for the smile on your face, you enjoyed it. It's something you'll remember for a long time.
Absolutely, very much. It was just great. Thank you, guys.
Back upstairs, the lights are out on the pace car. We're going to go back racing.
We sure are. Rosemary's going down for that photo op. She's come all ready for tonight. There she goes with Jim Wayne's beautiful bride there as well. Let's see what's going to happen as the lights are off as they head into turn number 3. 8 laps are up on the board of 22. Get ready, Matt. It's a long way from over with yet, and the cream is just starting to rise to the top in this one.
Yeah, what a front row. The Hammer against the Warhorse. Two veterans getting ready as they navigate their way out of the fourth corner. Hammond gets her on it early as he throttles his way back into the lead.
No question, Hammond has got the run of his career going on here tonight. Here's Joey Farino, fastest car on the racetrack. With him, another guy to watch is Mendito. Mendito has won once already this season. He, with Salva, are coming to the front as well. Meanwhile, look at Sorrell with that number 77 car.
He is at fourth. The battle is for second and third, and Joey Farino, the mayor, is able to impeach the 79 out of second place. Joey Farino is going after Hammond in a battle for the lead.
No question, he is quick on the clock and quick on the racetrack. He is all over Rich Hammond. Down low, bottom of turn one, Hammond guards the lead, leaves the door open. Will the reservations take hold as they head down the back straightaway, side-by-side racing, and Joey Farino wants his second victory in 2014, and Joey Farino almost had it at the line.
Boy, they are Velcroed together, heading into the second corner. Hammond on the outside, giving Farino all he can handle. They M16 their way into the third turn. Two drivers surgically attached. And now Joey Farino is able to pull away coming out of turn four.
Fastest car on the racetrack takes over the point and leads him into turn number one. Meanwhile, a little further back, it is Glenn Griswold who's struggling. His car suddenly became evil. To the outside is the 31, tapping his back bumper, Nick Salva, with the number 98 car. Mendito is right there as well. Off the turn, back to the line. Farino is still the leader, but the battle is a four-car battle for position number 4, and those guys are playing for keeps, Matt.
Yeah, a little Billy Club action a few moments ago for Nick Salva. Now he wanders to the outside, trying to stomp his way around the Warhorse in car number 79. Mendito wants a piece of that action. It's a big lead for Joey Farino, going for win number 2 this season. But the action is for 4th, 6th, 7th, 8th, as those cars are banging heads. Now Mendito gets the edge over Griswold.
And now moving in is Jay Goff, the crafty old fox himself, the sly one. He's coming to the front of the field as well. 15 of 22, 7 circuits, and counting down. Farino in a zone of his own at the point. Early leader Hammond still in second. Point leader Sorrell in the third spot. Then it's the 31 car of Steven Kopsick turning in a good run here tonight among the top 4 cars. And then we've got 2 feature event winners, Nick Salva and Darren Mendito. Both of those guys contending. Oh, trouble now. The 31 got out of shape for Kopsick.
As that was a little boot scoot boogie that time for Kopsick. Salva taking advantage to move into 4th. Mendito trying to crowbar his way underneath Kopsick. He is able to complete the move.
He sure does, as now those 2 cars have got a little bit of ground to make up. Dylan Mendito turned the fastest lap the last time by. Look at Sorrell. He is pressuring Hammond. Bonsai move, bottom of turn 3. Sorrell, the point leader, moves into the comfort zone, second and up on the podium. 18.4 laps to go.
Sorrell says he loves to drive these open-wheel cars because they're a finesse car, and that suits in with the way he drives. When it's fenders, it's a little more physical. He likes the finesse of these open-wheel cars. He likes it a lot now because he is in second, trying to track down our leader, Joey Farino, but he is running out of time.
The clock is ticking. 19 up on the board. Farino way out in front. Now all of a sudden Hammond drifts back as now Nick Salva moves into the podium in the top 3. Mendito still the fastest car on the racetrack. Now Nick Salva has taken over and turned the fastest lap the last time by. 22 circuits remain. Farino has a problem. Joey Farino's car suddenly dies in turn number 2. Lead is a battle between Sorrell and Nick Salva. Sorrell inherits the lead. Farino, the heartbreaker of the night. White flag is out.
Cliffhanger. Any one of 3 drivers could win it. Sorrell goes into the second corner the quickest. Salva right there. Mendito right there. But Sorrell has the upper hand as they go into turn 3.
No question about it. Sorrell, the point leader, looks to secure the victory. Off turn number 4, Sorrell will take down the win. Salva will finish in second. Mendita will finish in the 3rd spot. Rounding out the top 4, it's Kopsick, and Hammond will finish in the 5th spot.
Then it's Jay Goff in 6th, Brandon Dion in 7th, DJ Burnham in 8th, Jeff Bosley in 9th, and Glenn Griswold will round out our top 10.
Paul French will finish in the 11th spot. Bob Charlan in 12th. Todd Doulard in 13th. Wesley Prucker 14th. And Jody Johnson in 15th.
Then it's Pete LaPooch in 16th, Carlos Gray in 17th, and Joey Farino. The 2 extra laps were not kind to the mare. He finishes in 18th after leading on lap number 20. Chris Gambos 19th, and Tyler Hines, a very fast car but ran into trouble. He finishes in 20th. Second consecutive victory for Jeremy Sorrell, but it didn't look like it was going to happen until something went haywire on that number 87 car for Farino.
The heartbreaker of the night, we heard the car pop. We saw the flame come out of the exhaust. Perhaps an ignition problem or a fuel problem, but Joey Farino, the agony of defeat, was right there at its best. Heartbreaker for Farino. Ladies, last call. The photo op is going to be taking place in just a moment down at the pink fire truck behind the small grandstand area in front of the novelty booth. It's not too late. Head on down there for history in the making. We want you to be a part of the festivities and the fun as well. Now our attention shifts to Napa Victory Lane. Flamingo Motorsports reporters Tony Sutton down there to meet and greet our winners with Connor Sullivan. Gentlemen?
Well, Jeremy getting the belts off, the hats, the safety gears taken off, the helmets off, and Jeremy comes out of the car with the checkered flag in hand and the Napa Winter Circle hat on his head. Now, that looked like a gift, but you were driving that thing hard, and I think you would probably have closed the gap up on him even without his issue.
Yeah, we were, I drove my hardest. I mean, we burned off the right rear tire. I've had quite a few races on these tires now. They were good last week, so we tried to run them another week, and, they were really starting to wear off quick. I was trying my hardest to catch them. I really can't tell if we were or not, but, I saw them slow up a little bit, and, I'm just grateful for getting this opportunity to win again.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a very impressive run coming from mid-pack and working up to the front. And obviously, Farino was really wanted that victory, but a little poof. But you were closing in on him anyway, so a great run. I know your sponsors are proud of what you've done.
Hey, I got to thank Bill's Repair Service, Bob Transportation, Liptech Industrial. Just without these guys, I couldn't do it. My whole family, and I'm just really happy to be here.
Well, Jeremy, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, we're looking for second place. And Nick, a nice performance out there. Consistent laps, consistent times.
Yes, sir. I mean, that was a crazy race, a lot of up and downs. I really have to thank my sponsors, Northeast Race Cars, Rad Auto Machine, JG Pool and Drywall, D&D Auto Works, Hams Welding, First Class Wine and Spirits, Middlebury Consignment, Roos Motorsports, Team Critical, my entire crew, my dad, my mom, Kathy, Louie, Jim, Paul, George, Bender, Mikey, everybody who gives us a hand on this. It's team effort racing.
Well, I want to show you something just before you back away.
After this race.
This is the way you do it. Every sponsor, everyone has helped. He's on this list. Nick, congratulations on second spot.
Oh, one more. Dell's Vinyl Siding.
There you go. You got them all in. Well, I'll tell you what. The podium's the podium, and being up here it's a good feeling. I know that the points start to pick up. Your perspective from third place.
It was a tough race. I came back from 11th, and car was running real good. It's probably about the best we had it all year, and I just kept moving forward and kept making my way. Nobody was giving anybody room tonight. I had to work my way for it, but it was worth it.
Well, Hammond's on the podium in third place. What you need to do is take all the notes on the setup of this car and make sure you don't throw them away.
Oh, yeah. We'll make sure of that.
Congratulations on third place.
Thank you.
Well, that's it down here in Victory Lane. We'll wrap it up, throw it back upstairs.
Here, here. Let's get to the starting lineup. In the first feature event of the night, the Dare Stock, starting at the point from East Hartford, Connecticut, the Jet Motorsports, number 11. The driver is Tyler Trotz.
And it is Doug Phelps in the 21 as we are underway, and Phelps moves out in front in a hurry.
No question about it. They are 3 wide, doubled up as they thunder through turn number 2. And on the outside, it's Phelps. It looks very racy as he tries to hold off the challenges being applied by the number 29 car of Trace Bear. Bear looked good last week, Matt, and he looks just as strong.
Yeah, and also looking good is Brandon Michael in car number 74. The sparks are flying for him as he got around Phelps. And there is your point leader, Frank Latois. He has established himself in the top 3.
Latois started back in the 8th position. He's up to 2nd. Meanwhile, the 74 car gets a little bit loose as Michael Brandon goes up the hill, and all of a sudden, car number 5, Andrew Marquise, is working his way to the front of the field. And don't count out the color green, but it appears that Brandon Michael has a problem with that number 74 car.
Yeah, he's shuffling backwards and trying to take advantage of that. It's Johnny Walker in car number 01. He plays a waiting game.
Trouble now. Former feature event winner, car number 36, Billy McNeil, goes around. Other cars involved in the skirmish include... Now starting to pull away. It looks like last week's feature event winner, Alexandra Fern, was also involved in that jingle as well. But it appears that we are still remaining under green as everybody seems to get away. And now we see that car number 33 working its way in to close up that gap. Frank Latois Jr. has closed up the gap on the leader. Car number 29, Trace Bear. At the start of this season, we didn't really even know him. He is really looking racy at the point.
Yeah, he is a first-year driver in car number 29. He used to race at Whip City, took a couple of years off, and right now he's holding his own against one of the best, Frank Latois. Eddie Marquise having a good run, but it is everything he has to do to hold off David Como, and then Brandon Michael leads the next contingent of cars.
Off turn number 4, a car with a little bit of a problem is the Dan Dembeck car number 93, just in line with the leaders, but all of a sudden we've got a bid for the lead. Frank Latois looking for the points, but he's running for the win. He goes to the inside, white number 33, like a ghost, a Casper-friendly ghost. He goes alongside and shadows the number 29 machine, and that, of course, is Trace Bear.
So Frank Latois is kept out of the winner's circle so far this year, has moved in front. A couple of the contenders are trying to flex their muscles. Johnny Walker right now is bogged down in the middle of the field. And right behind him is Ryan Fern in car number 3. Ryan Fern trying to make a move, and he is vetoed by Johnny Walker.
Watch the mid-pack of cars. All of a sudden, Walker's trying to gain a little bit of ground. The number 74 car, Brandon Michael's car, has really gotten evil since the start of this event. But there's no question about it. Last week's feature event winner is about to, well, almost be passed by this week's leader with now 7 laps of the 15 in the record book. Meanwhile, all of a sudden, Frank Latois' car suddenly develops a caffeine twitch off turn number 4.
And that is not a good thing because Trace Bear is still right there. Best battle for 3rd and 4th between Marquise and David Como. And Cam Como looking for a little elbow room underneath. But Andy Marquise, the trouble for him is making that car stay good for 15 laps. We'll see if he can do it tonight.
Well, he certainly is on the podium. That's where he'd like to be. Trouble now. We've got another car around between 3 and 4. That car gets fired up, and that is the number 26 machine, which is the John Anderson car. He'll pick up no harm, no foul there. We are still under green.
And at the front of the field, it is Frank Latois as he puts last week's winner, Alexander Fern, a lap down. So it shows you how quickly things can change. Good battle right in front of us between Allison Coelho and the 36 of Bill McNeil. But at the front, Frank Latois. Now he has a very difficult task of weaving his way through slower traffic.
He certainly does. He comes up on the number 11 car. Just in front of him, Billy McNeil, who already won an event this year. Now the Coelho machine goes around car number 35, and it comes directly in line with the leader.
Wow.
Unbelievable that Frank Latois was minding his own business, the leader of the field. We saw the Bill Michael car come up on the 35 machine, And unfortunately, look at the front end damage to car number 33. You talk about the highs and lows of this racing business. You've just witnessed that. Black flag comes out from the starter stand from Tim Bennett for Billy McNeil in car number 36. The Coelho number 35 was a car that was involved in that situation as well. And look at the Frank Latoile race car, the body rubbing on the right front tire on the car. And look at the left front wheel, and you have to feel the frustration for this young man who started the event in the 8th position, Matt, came to the front of the field, perfectly clean, never touched anyone, was the leader of the pack way out in front, passing lapped automobiles, and suddenly he became a victim of circumstances, no fault of his own.
Allison Coelho did her best to try to save it and keep the car off the wall, but she couldn't do it. She just drifted up high enough, and you talk about bad timing, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. There is your textbook example of that. Because Frank Latoile, there was nowhere for him to go. He tried to squeeze by Allison in the wall, and there just wasn't any room. The pipe was clogged.
Well, not only is this going to be tough for him because it would have been another win to add to the win list for him, but what makes it equally as tough is the fact that he was the point leader going into tonight's event. There are 10 laps up on the board, 10 of 15, as now you can see the frustration as Frank Latoile discussing the situation with the number 36 machine of Billy McNeil. And, of course, you have to understand how frustrating it is for this young man who was, again, started way back in the 8th position, came to the front of the field, and now it looks like we've got another heartbreak story. Car number 29, Matt, a ton of smoke pouring from the back end of the race car. Jason Manfredo is down from the starter stand as well.
Well, he stays on the track.
And
so
that
we'll
29 car
is a serious situation, but it looked like a lot of smoke was coming from that number 29.
Yes. And that is not what he was looking for at all by any stretch of the imagination here. On the restart, it will be the number 29 machine to the inside of the front row, Tracy Bayer. Remember, we saw some smoke. Was it something minor, or will it be something serious? To the outside is Marquise, who's had no luck at all this season with car number 5. And, Matt, you pointed it out. Usually that car goes away on him about this point in the event. We don't want to jinx him because he's a real good guy. Como in the second row. Walker, the man with the straw hat, is always very cautiously but quietly coming to the front of this field. And what about Brandon Michael? That car started out good, and it was evil. He's done a great job of holding on to that car, keeping it into the top 5. And then the number 3 car, the teammate to Alexandra Fern, also started back in the 13th position and is up to the 6th spot.
You know, that's a pretty good point. It's easy when your car is perfectly set up and gripping the track and the driver has an easy task. When you're fighting the car and you still have a top 5 finish, the driver's doing a great job, and that is what Brandon Michael is doing tonight, getting the maximum out of a car that does not seem to be handling perfectly.
It certainly does. Let's see what's going to happen as we're about ready to get them fired back up as they head off turn number 4. Tim Bennett looks the field over. Green flag is out, and Marquise has a little more giddy up down the front straightaway. Marquise is in command, but all of a sudden, Trace Bayer fights back on the inside. No sign of that smoke, Matt, but they are smoking in the top 6.
And look at David Como and Johnny Walker. They populate the second row as they try to blockbuster their way close to Trace Bayer. Bayer on fire in car number 29, and clinging to him is car number 5, Andy Marquise, looking for his first ever win.
And in the middle of all of that, David Como with car number 8 is coming to the front. The color of money is green, and his race car is green, and he is going for the money. Car number 8, a little bit loose this time, down underneath Marquise. Off the turn, they come back to the line. This time, there's 3 laps to go. Warning, as the flag is shaken at the car in second, third, and in the 4th spot. Single file, they head down the back straightaway. Still out in front, car 29. Popsicle sticks are up, Matt. 1 mile left for car 29.
Ryan Furr doing a good job in 5th, followed by Brandon Michael. Then it is Gus Coelho. We're down to the final 2. Can Trey Spire hold off Andy Marquise to get his first Stafford victory?
There's no question about it as they work their way down the back straightaway, deep into turn number 4. Trace is still in command. Marquise runs right in his tire tracks. Como is there. Walker is there. So isn't Fern. They come off turn number 4. White flag is out, but there's no surrendering among the top 5.
Leading by about the length of a ruler is Trey Spire. Now Marquis starting to make a move. It is going to be very interesting as they thunder their way down the backstretch. Trey Spire comes all the way from Brewster, his rookie year, 2 turns away from victory.
They work their way to the stripe. All of a sudden, here comes Walker. Como is there. Trey Spire down into victory lane. He'll take down his first win. Look at David Como. He'll take down the number 2 spot.
Price for it.
Oh, boy. Comes across the racetrack down to the center of the infield. Marquise and Walker is able to squeak on by, but Como's car shows the worst of the wear. But the story is, well, a look at the scoreboard. It tells the story. A first-time winner, Trace Bayer, to take down the win with car number 29. And what about Como? He got there at all costs.
Yes, a very expensive second-place finish for David Como. And Andy Marquise will be in 3rd. And Trace Bayer, he got a little bit of a break today when the leader, Frank Latois, got into some difficulty and got involved in an altercation. But being a winner is to take advantage of your opportunities, and that's what Trey Spire did. Looked like there was smoke coming out of that car at one time, but it turned out to be a false alarm. Maybe he was just smoking hot tonight at Stafford Motor Speedway.
I think he proved exactly just that. We'll be shy with 1 car in victory lane. That's the 8 car, of course, because the damage after the fact was hot and heavy. A great run for Marquise to finish in the 3rd spot. Nice to see him on the podium, a guy with a lot of talent and a big smile. A lot of celebrations going on now as we speak. We remind you, if you've just joined us, tonight's program is brought to you by your friends at Napa. Napa Auto Care Centers, where Napa know-how is more than a phrase, it's a way of life. And tonight, we salute our Napa Auto Parts stores. Joining us from East Hampton on 82 High Street, we welcome Ed and his staff. And from Norwalk, Patchen's Auto Parts, your Napa store there on 60 Main Street. Rit Patchen, a former driver that used to compete here at the Stafford Motor Speedway and was involved at the old Danbury Race Arena as well. A great way to get things started for this evening's program. We remind you the program is brought to you by your friends at Lincoln Tech. Head on down to their booth and get some information. A lot of you received a free complimentary gift from our friends at Lincoln Tech when coming into the Speedway here tonight. Please make sure you stop on over and check out more information about them. Right now, our attention shifts down to Napa Victory Lane. Tony Sutton is down there with a very happy winner. Tony?
First time in his career, and also the 2nd week in a row, we have a first-time winner in the Dare Stocks. Trace, you looked like you were on rails out there. Talk about your race.
Oh, that was just so much fun. It was challenging fighting guys like Frank. He's a real good driver. It was tough. My car loosened up toward the end, but I was able to hang on to it.
You must have a lot of people that you would like to thank for your first victory.
Oh yeah, Lazy Moose Lodge, Heritage Propane, C&M Tent Rentals, MahoneyGPS.com, a whole bunch of these guys just help out so much. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here right now.
All right, that's a story for the newest addition to the Dare Stock winners, Trace Bayer.